Hello and welcome back to another Serie A video where this time I'm previewing Matchday 29 games. The games, they will be played between Friday and Saturday. No Sunday or Monday games this week or this weekend. Here are the standings as you can see. Napoli still leads the league with now 16-point difference to Lazio. And the battle for top 4 place and Champions League spots are heating up. And let's see how the games will go. The 3 games that will be played on Friday will be between, all have a 2-hour gap, so games will be played local time 5 p.m., 7 p.m., and 9 p.m. Respectively. And the first game will be Salernitana and Inter. And the best goal scorer for Salernitana. I decided to take a look at each team's best goal scorers this week. Bulaidia with 10 goals, Lautaro Martinez with 14, second best goal scorer overall in Serie A, leads the team for Inter. And I would expect Inter Milan to beat La Salernitana, even though Salernitana they could surprise Inter, but Inter they have lost 3 straight games, so I wouldn't be that surprised if Inter won that game, as I wouldn't be surprised if Napoli won. And they have they should beat Lecce. Lecce have lost quite many games in a row, and Napoli they lost their last game to Milan 4-0 at home. So I would think Napoli bounces back. Their best goal scorer is league's overall best goal scorer, Victor Osimhen, whereas for Lecce, Strefeccia with 7 goals. Osimhen has 3 times as many goals as Trefezza, and I would expect Napoli to maybe score 3 times as much goals as Lecce in this match. But and the final game on Friday will be between Milan and Empoli, 9 p.m. as I said already. And Empoli, they finally got a win. They had lost many games before the last match day. Milan, as I said, with Napoli, they won 4-0 their last match. So, they are doing in last couple matches, especially that Napoli win, they are doing quite well. And, Rafael Leao, their best goal scorer, 10 goals there. Whereas for Empoli, they haven't done that well this season goal scoring wise, and that shows as their best goal scorer is Baldanzi with 4 goals. So, midfielder 4 goals, not ideal. And let's see if maybe Milan isn't playing their best game after that Napoli brilliant win. So brilliant Napoli win. So this could be a trap game for Milan for sure. But I would still expect them to beat Empoli. This might just be tougher for them than expected, because if they don't give their full effort, Empoli will certainly they can harm them, I would think. Then Saturday, 2 games are going to be quite early. So one game beginning 12:30 will be Udinese and Monza. And Udinese's best goal scorer is Beto, the Portuguese forward. Whereas for Monza, the best goal scorer for them is Carlos Augusto with 5 goals. And the Brazilian wingback left midfielder, he's doing quite well. His team isn't if your left midfielder or left wing back is the best goal scorer with 5, the strikers haven't done that great. So but overall I would expect Udinese, even though they have dropped to 11th, I would maybe expect them to win their home game, because they have struggled in about last month, and it would be the time for them to maybe win this match. Fiorentina and Spezia will be in action 2 hours later, 2:30. And it's clear to see which team is favorite. Fiorentina, they just are rolling, and whereas Spezia, they are 17th, so that's not that great for them. And what tells something about their season is that even though Enzola, their striker, has had quite a good year, 12 goals, and he is really doing well. It's half of the team's whole total, 24. So that's not ideal there. Whereas Fiorentina, a bit surprisingly, half of the goals for compared to Enzola. Artur Cabral, the Brazilian forward, leads them with 6 goals. But yeah, I would expect maybe Fiorentina beat Spezia, but Fiorentina maybe they come in with too good spirits, and maybe they are too confident about this game, and maybe they could drop points. That's certainly possible, especially when you look at the standings. You can see that they haven't played their best game, at least this last couple month and a half has been much better compared to some other games earlier in the season. So yeah, but overall I would expect Fiorentina to win this one. Then two games going on at the same time, 4:30. Sampdoria and Cremonese, two of the last teams in the league. And yeah, this game could either feature no goals or lots of goals. Nobody knows. Sampdoria, the goal scorer for them that's best this season is Gabbiadini, and for Cremonese, Giovanni has the most goals. Both teams' best goal scorers have 6. And that's one of the reasons why these teams are last, because 6 as the best goal scorer isn't that great, especially if you compare that to teams like Napoli. Yeah, I would maybe expect this to be a tie, but it could end up either way really. And Atalanta Bologna at the same time, two teams that have done relatively well this season. Atalanta, that was probably expected. Bologna maybe not so much. But Atalanta, their best goal scorer is Adamola Lookman with 13 goals, who really is having quite a good season for Atalanta. Whereas for Bologna, their Austrian striker Marko Arnautovic, the experienced striker, is doing quite well with 8 goals. And I would expect this to be one of the better matches, along with Torino and Roma and Lazio and Juventus. Torino-Roma will be played at the same time as Hellas Verona and Sassuolo. Those games are going on at 6:30. And Torino and Roma, of course coming off the 3-0 win, where Dybala scored, who is also Dybala, the best goal scorer for the Roma, 10 goals so far this season. For Torino, Antonio Sanabria with 8 goals. So that's not bad either. And Torino's season overall has been pretty solid. Nothing amazing, but they are 10th in the league, so nothing to complain really there. And I would expect this to be a good match. Hellas Verona, Sassuolo at the same time. Hellas Verona, they are 18th. I'm not sure about their surviving chances for next year. Their best goal scorer, and that tells something about their problems, Darko Lazovic with 3 goals, so yet not ideal there, and that's not even tied if I'm not mistaken, so others have 2 or less, so really they are struggling this year goal scoring wise. Sassuolo, Lorient, he really has been doing quite well in last couple games, and last couple months as well, 7 goals, and he's the leading scorer for Sassuolo. And then the last game, 20:45, the game will be between Lazio and Juventus. Probably the biggest game out of all these, and one that most people are gonna be looking forward to. I'm looking forward to that as well. And Lazio best goal scorer Immobile and Zaccagni both have 9 goals. Juventus, Dusan Vlahovic 8 goals. And this could very well end up in tie or draw. And I just think this could be a great match, but Lazio Juventus, if you take the Juventus point deduction, Juventus would be second. Lazio are actually second right now, so this really could be a great match. But what are your thoughts, and what results are you expecting, score predictions, and will there be any surprises? For example, will Roma drop points against Torino? Would that be a surprise? And hit the like and subscribe for more football and Serie A content, and have a nice day.